After a few weeks, well, there's no light. After a few weeks, my leg is finally feeling better. Like I can actually run upstairs, I can run. I just feel back to normal on that front. Today's vlog is a bit of a rant. And listen, I don't like ranting. That's not what this channel is about, but something that's happening multiple times over the last few days has been just a lack of people taking ownership at their jobs. Look, I understand work is not always fun. I mean, anything you do, even if it's your passion, even if it's something you've always wanted to do and it's your dream job, you're gonna have those days where you're off. You're feeling like, oh, I don't wanna be here. I'm just not into it today. I totally understand that side of it. We all have those days. It doesn't matter. There's days where the light bulb won't be going off in your head and you won't be creative and you're not feeling creative, and maybe your job, you're just tired, you don't feel like typing, you don't feel like talking to customers, whatever it may be. We all have those days. And no day is perfect. I mean, some days you come downstairs and you have a fresh pot of coffee. Some days you have leftovers from last night. But you know what? You can heat it up, even though it doesn't taste, it's not the greatest cup of coffee you've ever had. You can still put a smile on your face, drink it down, and get on with your day. I'll give you a quick example of what I'm talking about. This happened to me just, I think it was yesterday, last night. If you've been watching the vlog, you know we've been trying to update some things in our house. So we've been painting, patching, doing all that fun stuff, just upgrading some things. And part of that was our stools for our kitchen that are by the island there. They're horrible. There was a cut in the leather and I mean, they've been around for 10 years. They've made it on a move from Michigan. We needed new stools. So we went to a furniture store and we ordered a stool. We had one stool that we bought from there, and we simply bought it to see if it fit, see if it looked good, and then they said we can bring it back if it didn't work out. Lawn mowing today. Tried it didn't fit, it didn't really fit the look we liked, it was way too low for what we needed, so I brought it back yesterday. This is where the rant kind of comes to head, because I brought this chair in, I brought it back, and I was the only other person. There was one couple and me in this giant furniture store. I mean, just furniture for days. And they brought me to the back, the customer service area, and this woman, she comes up to me. Is there anything wrong with the chair? Okay. I mean, robotic, very, very robotic. Like, just, you could tell not having a good day. And so she then starts to do, here, let me see if I can reenact this. Starts to do one of these. Well, let me get on this. Now, I don't know if she had to hack into the Pentagon to return this stool or what, but there was a lot of typing going on for just a $75 to $100 stool or whatever it was. It was just a lot, and it was silent. It was completely silent. In the middle of clicking the keyboard, all of a sudden, huge, just, and continued on. And okay, people get tired, I get tired. I get it, I totally get it, and please don't take this rant the wrong way. But I use this as an opportunity. I was like, oh, it's that time of day, right? You know, just using one of those generic kind of get some kind of conversation going. She then goes into a bunch of personal details about how she just had shoulder surgery, and you know, this is just her part-time job, so she's not used to being here. She doesn't really care about this job. This isn't the primary thing. This is just to make some extra money, and she can't take pain pills because of this, because of that, and normally she's sleeping during this time of the day when she was recovering. It just went on and on and on. And it sucks. I mean, anytime you have a medical thing or you're recovering from something, it's not fun, and I don't wish that on anybody, and I'm not discounting the fact that it is hard to recover from a surgery. But by tweaking that conversation, it could have changed the whole experience. She could have just said, oh my gosh, yeah, it is a time of day. I just had surgery and I'm still working my way back, trying to build myself up to my full energy. Leave it at that. I didn't have to hear that this job's not important to you, that you're just here because, hey, it's some extra money. All of that started giving me these negative vibes in this place that didn't, it wasn't full of customers. So that was it was just weird. It was a weird thing for me because I would never do that, I guess. The next part of it that blew my mind was the only thing they asked about me returning this was, is the stool fine? And I said, yeah, it's fine. It just didn't fit properly. And I left that conversation open-ended. And I figured they would come back to me and say, well, hey, let's see if this one can work out for you. Is there something else we can show you? Like doing something proactive to try to get me to still be a customer of theirs. Just try something. Even if it doesn't work out, well, hey, you know what? I have a suggestion for you. I have a friend that did that. Whatever it is, just give me some kind of experience so that I can walk away being like, wow, that place is awesome. Now you could sit there and say, oh, it's just one employee, they were having a bad day or whatever, and that's so true, but I think a lot of people are forgetting this isn't an isolated thing. I've experienced this all over the place. And I think what people forget is not only are you representing yourself and your own personal brand and how you carry yourself and all those different things, but you're also representing the company you're working for. And I'm gonna be very upfront and honest with you, I probably will never walk in their doors again because there was no energy, there was no eagerness to help, there was no experience. And I'm one that's willing to pay a little bit extra for more attention, more experience. Like I'm so willing to get behind a brand that's willing to bring a little more value to the table beyond just their product. Get Starbucks, for example. You can buy a cup of coffee at so many different coffee shops, but what they do well is they train their people to try to give you an experience. It becomes, for some people, it's a quick social part of their day. They walk in, hey, how's it going, Brian? How are you? Like it becomes a social interaction. You get your coffee, it's something you feel good having. You had a good conversation, you feel good on that front, and you just feel good, so you come back. You come back for that feeling, and it almost becomes an addiction in a way. All I'm saying is, no matter what your job is, if you're a waiter or waitress, or if you're a cook, a dishwasher, it doesn't matter what level you're at in a job, you can just own it like it's your company. Pretend that you own that company and portray yourself as if you own that company, because the people that take ownership, the people that create these experiences for customers, you want as many cheerleaders on your side as possible, I always say. So if you're giving them good help, good service, they're gonna come back and be like, that was awesome. That was cool. That was cool. And as that builds up, you're kind of building up your group of fans and people are liking every time they come in to see you. That'll get passed on to your bosses eventually. And even if you think it isn't making a difference, it will in the long run. Just a word of advice, and I always have to remember this too, like don't get frustrated. Even when it's the job is at its worst, when you're in front of customers, you're on stage, if you will. Like present yourself as if you're happy, you're an owner, and just remember that these people have paid money to have that experience with you and have that interaction. So whether you're making coffee for somebody or selling them furniture or whatever the experience is, make that experience just the best experience you can do within your power. Okay, I apologize, rant is over. I don't like to rant very often, but it just feels good to get it off your chest sometimes. And let me know in the comments below if this kind of stuff, if you're seeing this too, or if I'm just crazy. But I've seen just a uprising of just people not wanting to do things, and it is absolutely not just a millennial thing and a zennial thing and a generational thing. It's across the board. I've seen older people, younger people. It's not just one generation. It is across the board. I've seen this. It comes down to the individual, not a certain group of people or anything like that. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I will see you tomorrow.